Hi guys, and welcome to a new video from Mobile Infotech. Today we're going to take a look at an incredible device. A device that literally embodies light speed. Welcome to the full review of the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite 5G. Before we dive in, however, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I would appreciate it if you could smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and helps out the channel massively. A massive thank you for that in advance. First off, let's take a look at the extraordinary design of this device. Its main and immediately noticeable characteristics are its refreshingly light weight of only 159 grams, coupled with its incredibly thin profile of only 6.8 millimeters, making it the thinnest smartphone since the original iPhone 6 from 2014, and actually even beating that by 0.1 millimeters. This also makes it the thinnest 5G smartphone currently in production by modern day standards. This thin and light profile is further enhanced by a top-notch construction and build quality, especially for a mid-range device. When handling the device in hand, it feels quite solid and premium, while its thinness and lightness makes it easy to wield. Gorilla Glass 6 is used on the front of the device, and the back was also treated to a glass construction. Where many competitors in this class settle for a fully plastic construction, on the Mi 11 Lite 5G, the use of plastic material in the construction is limited and only utilized in the plastic frame of the device, which preserves the premium build and in-hand feel of the device. On the right-hand side of the device, you'll find its main buttons, this being the power button, which houses an inbuilt fingerprint scanner, and the volume rocker. The buttons again provide good tactile feedback and feel solid in use. On the bottom, you will find the button-facing speaker, the USB-C charging port, and the microSD SIM slot, which can only be accessed with a pen tool, as you can see here. Turning our attention to the back of the device, we find a beautiful glass back complemented with a matte finish. This is always a shining and reflective glass finish on the non-5G variant of the Mi 11 Lite. Near the top, we find the camera setup, which is beautifully designed and borrowed straight from its big brother, the regular Mi 11. We'll revisit the camera a bit later in this review. On the top of the device, there is nothing noteworthy, save for the infrared sensor which Xiaomi puts on all of its devices, which remains a nifty feature. A 3.5mm jack, present in its device's predecessor, the Mi 11 Lite 5G, is notable by its absence. Xiaomi has decided to ditch this port, but as you can see in my unboxing video, you do get a 3.5mm jack dongle in the box. I'll put up a card to that video should you be interested in watching that and seeing what comes in the box with the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite. Moving on to the front of the device, we find the 6.55-inch 10-bit HD Plus resolution AMOLED screen with nice thin bezels and a punch-hole front camera in the top left corner of the device. The display gets fairly bright at 800 nits peak brightness and has excellent contrast and image quality. It runs at 90 Hz, which ensures a very smooth operation of the device. It also supports an always-on display and HDR10 Plus content from the likes of Netflix and Amazon. Next, let's talk about what powers this device and where the tag speed comes in. This device is the very first and currently only device on the market that comes equipped with Qualcomm's brand new bleeding-edge technology, brand new Snapdragon 780G chipset, which, just for context, has more in common with the latest flagship Snapdragon 888 chipset found in all of the most high-end and expensive Android devices than it has with other 700 series commonly used in mid-range and cheaper Android devices. It is the new top-of-the-line mid-range chip that blows the competition out of the water. It is far more powerful and efficient than, for example, one of the Mi 11 Lite 5G's most popular rivals, the Samsung Galaxy A52 5G, which runs the Snapdragon 750 chipset, which itself is a pared-down version of the now 2-year-old Snapdragon 765G chipset, currently found in the Google Pixel 5 and the newly released Google Pixel 5a. All reasonably powerful devices, but nowhere near flagship performance devices, obviously. In fact, the 780G serves as a replacement of the Snapdragon 765G. The most powerful and advanced chips currently available, such as the aforementioned Snapdragon 888, but also Apple's latest A14 chip, are all based on a 5nm process. In short, what this means is, the smaller the nanometer number, the more modern and efficient the chip. And this incredible level of technology is now present in this Snapdragon 780G. This is exactly why this chip is so significant for this type of device. The mid-range chip is now more powerful as the now 2-year-old Snapdragon 855, and is the first 700 series chip to actually outdo it in terms of performance and graphics. This chip is found in flagships like the Samsung Galaxy S10, OnePlus 7, and the original Google Pixel 4, flagships from not too long ago that still hold up well even today. In short, for the Mi 11 5G in daily use, this results in flawless performance and a fluid experience. This Mi 11 Lite 5G comes equipped with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of onboard storage, but is also available with 64GB of storage and 6GB of RAM. The device also supports expandable memory with an SD card. And yes, as the name implies, because of the chip, the device also supports the latest 5G bands and the latest comms when it comes to wireless connectivity, with Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.2 being supported. In short, Bluetooth connections are solid and you have support for the latest, most advanced Wi-Fi network speeds. A very important thing to note, however, is that the powerful 780G chip only comes along in the Mi 11 Lite 5G model, not the regular 4G model, which features a standard Snapdragon 722G, also found in the Redmi Note 10 Pro, currently a very popular device from Xiaomi in the same class. Just to demonstrate the sheer power of the Mi 11 Lite 5G, here you can see that not only can it run all games, but also on the highest available settings, like here in Genshin Impact for example, one of the heaviest games currently available. I must say that although top graphic settings run smoothly and are fully supported even on high frame rates, it is not recommendable to play on these settings for a long sustained period of time, as I found that the device then gets pretty hot on the back after about 45 minutes of continuous gameplay on Genshin Impact's highest available settings. This is something though that even affects more powerful flagships devices like the iPhone 12 for example. If gaming will be a significant portion of your daily use of the device, I would recommend looking at the Mi 11 Lite's 5G's bigger and even more powerful brother, the regular Snapdragon 888 flagship chip powered Xiaomi Mi 11, of which my fellow tech tubers across the pond, being iTechStalk and Holler at Your Boy, have made excellent and informative reviews on their respective channels for you to watch, both of which, of course, I will link below in the description. #MeMafia. Turning our attention back to the Mi 11 Lite 5G, if you don't play on intensive settings all the time, in terms of gaming and especially the highest settings in Genshin Impact for example, the Mi 11 Lite 5G should have you covered. Now that we have established that the hardware of the Mi 11 Lite 5G is both light in its hardware and possesses a lot of speed under the hood, unifying this into a single flawless software and UI experience is of course the famed Xiaomi MIUI 12.5 operating system, which again on this device impresses with its beauty, fluidity and smoothness, and is packed with plenty of usable and flexible features. A nice example of one such feature is the floating window feature, which is not only limited to social media apps, but also games apparently. This again is a nice example of the sheer power that this device possesses, as you can see here I'm actually running two games side by side, switching from one to the other without any problems and even on top of each other without a single hitch. Something unthinkable on a mid-range device barely even 2 years ago. And this is a remarkable joint achievement from both Xiaomi and Qualcomm. With all that covered, let's now move to a surprisingly good feature of this device, the cameras. Again, you will find the module design similar to that of its bigger brother, the regular Mi 11. It has the following setup: a main lens with a 64 megapixel resolution with an aperture of 1.8 and face detection autofocus, a second lens with 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera with an aperture of 2.2, and a third 5 megapixel macro lens with autofocus, all supported by a dual LED dual-tone flash. This is an impressive but not completely uncommon mid-range setup. During the day, results are sharp and crisp, especially when accommodated by good lighting, as you can see from these pictures. Even in slightly more challenging conditions, the picture quality holds up very well, as you can see here, with these slightly overcast shots. Moving on to indoor shots, again the camera does a more than decent job, with again well-balanced color and sharpness, as you can see here. A slight bonus for the camera is that actually the macro lens is quite usable as well and produces great shots as well, as you can see here. The object is rendered quite sharp and with mostly true-to-life colors. Nighttime, as with any smartphone camera, is where the Mi 11 Lite 5G starts to lose a bit of ground, but majority of the pictures is still quite usable. Switching on night mode helps out, but comes at the cost of yellowish color rendering and softening of the details. But it does a very good job in providing a brightened, usable picture in the dark. But honestly speaking, the pictures without night mode enabled are also way above average for the class in terms of quality. Moving on to video, this is also a good and well-rounded experience, as you can see here. However, video in the dark starts to struggle a bit for focus, which occurs especially when walking. Standing still and padding offers no such problems and offers decently detailed video. Video is supported up to 4K at 30 frames per second and up to 120 frames per second in 1080p. Looking at the front-facing camera, the photo quality is quite decent, as can be seen here. But even more surprisingly, even though front-facing video is kept at 1080p, as is common with most Chinese branded phones, I find the video quality itself to be surprisingly outstanding, despite the limitation in resolution. As you can see, the footage is crisp, sharp and also smooth, a nice bonus feature for those keen on taking selfie videos. So all in all then, in terms of camera, we can conclude that if you're a fan of taking photos and videos, the Mi 11 Lite 5G more than holds its own for that purpose, and you will be well served. In most situations, front and back camera can provide great shots and decently good video footage. A question I got asked a lot during my review of the Mi 11 Lite 5G is how does the camera stack up to its more popular sibling, the Redmi Note 10 Pro, with its higher resolution 108 megapixel camera. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those in-house at the moment. I was however able to compare some shots with my Mi 10 Pro, which features a more advanced version of the Redmi Note 10 Pro's 108 megapixel unit, because it comes equipped with OIS, optical image stabilization, which the Note 10 Pro does not have. I made a few comparison shots and video. As you can see clearly, the true flagship offers better shots, but again, even compared to such an advanced high-end camera setup, the Mi 11 Lite 5G holds its own, as you can see in these pictures and videos. I suspect this has two main reasons. One is its chipset again. Because the new Snapdragon 780G has new advanced imaging signal processing, therefore footage comes out better, smoother, and the chip allows for processing of 3 shots at the same time, which results in more advanced imaging processing on your photo or video footage. Second, for all Mi 11 models, Xiaomi employs more elaborate algorithms compared to what it does for the Redmi series or Poco devices, for example. As a bonus, this means that the regular non-5G Mi 11 Lite should have decent image quality as well because of the processing. Now that we've covered the camera, we can now move on to the last bits and pieces of the device. In terms of battery life, the Mi 11 Lite 5G is no better than average, with the 4250 mAh pack. This is smaller than average, but battery life is adequate, probably thanks again to that not only powerful but efficient new chipset. You will get a full days of use out of this device. Just don't expect over a day like in its other mid-range siblings, such as the Redmi Note 10 series or Poco series, which come equipped with much bigger and larger battery sizes. Charging though is done very quickly with the 33-watt charger, which of course comes in the box. It continues to outdo all non-Chinese branded phones as per usual. Another nice feature is that the device, like many Xiaomi devices, comes equipped with decently sounding stereo speakers, one being at the bottom and one on the top earpiece, doubling as its second speaker. So are there no cons to this device at all then? Well, as I've just touched upon, battery life might be a cause of concern if you're a very heavy user and you game a lot on the device, and also if you have the camera fired up all day. The device will struggle to reach the end of the day. Something that also bothered me a bit is a 10 seconds interval for the always on display, which is a bit of a bummer if you've experienced it properly in other Xiaomi devices. But honestly, these items are just nitpicking at small details. If you've enjoyed this video so far and want to see more videos like this, please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel, as I've got lots more content inbound in the coming weeks. Also, giving this video a like and sharing it with your friends and family in search of mid-range devices would be a tremendous help. Again, many thanks in advance for your support. Also, if this review has helped you in making up your mind whether to go for this Mi 11 Lite 5G or not, I have a few links in the description linked below where you can purchase the device. Using these links also helps out this channel massively. Again, thank you. And now we move on to my conclusion. So in conclusion, what can I say about the Mi 11 Lite in this beautiful citrus yellow? I think it's an incredible device, one of the most well-balanced mid-rangers to come out yet. And I think it's, I wouldn't call it the king of the mid-range, but very near the top. And for anybody looking for a very slim form factor phone with a lot of power and capabilities, this would be my preferred device. Again, remarkable phone and such a thin and slim, sleek, beautifully designed, well-crafted body. And I'd like to say as well to my Indian viewers, if you might be, I know the Mi 11 has just launched in India, so it goes without saying that I would recommend spending a little bit more and getting the 5G version, which has that incredible balanced 780G chipset, which makes it still a mid-ranger, but an upper mid-ranger, actually capable of doing flagship features. That is also the main and key difference between this one and the Note 10 Pro. I mean, the Note 10 Pro does have a bigger screen, 120 Hz refresh rate, as opposed to this one having a 90 Hz refresh rate, but the power is just incomparable. Any mid-ranger is still on the 765 or 750G. This is the only device out with a 780. That is just incredible. I do know that Honor is actually launching the new Honor 5 with a downgraded version of this chip, the 778. So again, a downgraded version of this chip. That just tells you everything you need to know about the power of this device. It is incredible, and I highly recommend this phone. And with that said, we've reached the end of the video. The Mi 11 Lite 5G truly lives up to the monikers I gave it at the start of this video. It's both truly light and speed. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video. Cheers!